Alright, you guys, how is it going? So I made a couple of videos today against lower rated players. I thought there's just been something bugging me in the back of my mind, which I thought I'd share with you, but then more importantly share through the process that I follow to get rid of the mind bug. So what it was is that I'm torn between two loves at the moment. So I've got the Danish Gambit on one hand, which I've been rolling out for a couple of months now, and then I'm still kind of drawn to my previous girlfriend, the Vienna opening, and so quite a few members of like Chess Boot Camp Club or Chess Boot Camp Live are playing the Vienna, and Vitualis has just posted today, really good. Is a YouTube chess adventures of the chess noob based in Australia. Makes some really good videos. Definitely recommend you follow him as well. He found this amazing line with the help of the fish in the Halloween variation, which is worth checking out. So I'll put a link to that video as well, which is really cool. And it got under my skin, and so I thought, well, look, I've got this idea in my head that I'm getting better results in the Danish than in the Vienna. So what you do when you have this issue is you don't go to the chess.com Explorer. Chess.com Explorer, if you set it to My Games as White, for example, will tell you your results for different openings, and you can explore your way through, and that's fine. But the downside of the chess.com Explorer is it shows you your whole time. So if I go on that, it will show me everything, all my results since I started playing chess on chess.com, which is like 4 years ago. Pointless. So the way to do it is to go to openingtree.com, right? And you put in your source. What is your source? Chess.com. What is your username? You put your username in, and then I go as White. And then I can go, for example, only rapid, right? Because Blitz is just for fun. I can dick about at Blitz, right? And I try things out at Blitz. So Blitz is not that's not my serious playing, okay? But also I play quite a few games against lower rated players that I pick off of open challenges, and I don't want those either. So I set it to opponent rating above 1400. All right, fair enough. And then I set it from January 1st, 2022. And then you go continue, you go, analyze the games, etc. And then you can explore the games. So go into exploring the games. And so this is for me as White, and I'm looking at 1e4 because that's basically, what I play. I played 1e4 246 times and nothing else. So there you go. e4. Right, and I'm looking specifically at e5 now, and this is interesting. Let's just start with this for one thing. Against e5, I have jolly good results. Right, I've got a 60% win rate against 1e5, and I don't do so well against the Sicilian. I know this. I'm still kind of, do I want to play the Smith-Morra? Do I want to play the Grand Prix? Do I want to play the Alpine? There's so many things now I haven't quite settled, but I feel like I should and then stick to something. And maybe the Morra is the way to go. Maybe the Morra is, but we'll see. And then e6, the French, again, I don't do that well against. The French, right, ever so slightly better than average. So this is normal win rate for average win rate for White. Oh, no. Put my teeth in again, and then so I'm slightly better than average, but it's 13-12, right? I want to do better than that. And then against the Caro, 46%, so that is not good, right? And I see quite a few Caros. And then d6 is what, like the Philidor or something, so I've not got very good result for that. Or d5 is the Scandi, again, surprisingly, with my Black Mardima, I'm not doing very well against that. So really interesting, because we have these ideas in our head that, I'm quite comfortable against the Caro-Kann. I've got tricks against the Caro-Kann. Well, actually, apparently not. Okay, so anyway, so e5 is what we're looking at. And I've only played two things. I've played knight c3, the Vienna game, And I've played d4, right? The centre game leading to the Danish Gambit. Now, as you can see, the centre game does slightly better. Out of 27 games, I have a 65.5% win rate, which is pretty good. With the Vienna, from the beginning of this year, I've played more games, 3 times as many games, still got a 59% win rate. Okay, so, 59%, 60 odd percent, there's a bit of a difference there, but we're not talking about huge numbers. So then I thought, well, let's drill into the Vienna. And if they play knight to f6, then I'm winning 2-1. No, sorry, 3-2, which ain't bad at all. That's like 60% odd. If they play knight c6, which is very, very common, again, well, as you can see, it's the second most popular, I'm winning again 2 out of 3 of those as well. And d6, this timid little move here, I've won 7 out of 9 games, right? But then we get to, what the hell is this? Bishop b4, right? Bishop b4, and I'm like, well, I know what to do against bishop b4. We play the Zhuravlev Countergambit with pawn to d4, right? I've made a video on this, the Zhuravlev Countergambit, and we know what to do. But the results say otherwise. And coming from a marketing background and having, written a book about conversion rate optimization and how the fact that we should base our decisions on data, not just imagination and creativity, then, this is worrying. So I've had this situation 7 times this year playing the Vienna, and I've lost 6 of those games. And the average for white is like 54%. So there you go, right? And black wins 42. But I've got a... So what's that? In 7 games, so 7 games that's like 14%. So I've got a 14% win rate, which is gash. So the Zhuravlev Countergambit, apparently, with my idea of playing d4, and then apparently I suck. So, with that in mind, we come across to this, and so I went back to my Vienna study. I said, well, what am I doing wrong? And I went back to my Zhuravlev Countergambit line, okay, and I play d4, etc., right? And then on the various lines, it's like it's okay. But then I went, hang on. And it's always good just to retrace your steps sometimes and look for something new. So I've been playing this d4 idea, which is really, it's surprising. It's only played 1.5% of the time. So, but the point is here that players with the black pieces, they're not going to play against the Vienna that often anyway. So does it really matter if I try and surprise them with the 10th most popular move? Well, is there anything that kind of does better than that? Well, Queen G4 here, apparently. Queen G4 has a 62% win rate, so that might be worth exploring. But then the other thing I looked at was this move, F4. F4 wins 58% of the time, right? Which is better than D4. And it's the 4th most popular move. And it's only seen like 1 in 9 games. So I thought, well, let's create another chapter and let's explore F4 against this bishop move, right? So knight C3, bishop B4, and then F4. And let's just see what we can find in that. And this is a load of fun, just digging around, looking for gold, panning for gold, using the Lichess thing. Now, as you can see here, bishop takes c3 is very commonly played, 43%. E takes f4, the gambited pawn, 31%. And this is kind of familiar territory because this is like playing the Vienna Gambit, but your opponent's thrown that in instead of that. Okay, fair enough. So b takes c3, e takes c4, and then maybe d6. You might want to look at that, but d6 isn't so good. And everything else is pretty crap for black. So we look at these. Now, b takes c3, bishop takes c3, okay? And I've left myself a note. Let's go for a long castle strategy, right? And we capture with the d pawn. This is basically the idea. Anytime this pawn takes this, bishop comes out, our knight's going to come out, our bishop's going to fly out, our queen's going to fly out, and we're going to attack with everything we've got. And already here, it looks like white already has quite a decent level of influence over the board. Look, both of our bishops are kind of open. Our remaining knight is able to get in the game. Our queen, we've got all these open lines, and it's looking pretty good. So most common move for here, I mean, they might play knight c6, they might play d6 again on the quiet side, and I can look into those, but quite honestly, this isn't something you'll find an awful lot of the time. Most common move, e takes f4, and whether they bring out like knight c6 or they do this, it's the same move anyway. You play knight f3, and we are slightly better here. Now, of course, this pawn is already hanging. So, and here I'm just going most common moves. Most common moves for black, d6, right? What do? Simple. Take the pawn with the bishop. We've developed a piece. We're one step closer to castling. They come out and pin our knight. Most common move. And these are all the most common moves for black, by the way. Bishop c4, right? Computer doesn't like it all that much, but it does very well. They take, and of course we take with the queen. Why? Because we want to line up the queen against f7, we want to get our king castle, we want to get our rook on d1, and we want to go for the throne, right? Most common move is a blunder. Okay, knight to f6 is a blunder. White is already plus 6.4. We simply long castle. The most common move, in fact, this position's only been reached a couple of times, but both of those times black has castled, right? Black has castled, and then we simply throw g4 up the board, and we're just, I mean, this is winning, right? Oh, no, it's saying e5. e5 is the move, plus 6.6, right? And where's this knight going to go? Can't go there or there or there or there because of this queen, right? When you've got a queen or a bishop like this, guarding all these squares, the knight's got nowhere to go. The knight has to go back to e8. Look at this. Oh, and now we can grab this pawn if we want, or we can just grab here, right? Lots of options. So that's good. So bishop takes c3, right? After we play f4, not a bad thing. Okay. Now, what's the next most common? E takes f4. They're accepting the gambited pawn. Right, same deal. Okay. Now, the most commonly played move here is knight to f3. The computer doesn't like that so much as queen g4. Queen g4 it likes a lot. We're just targeting the loose g7 pawn because this bishop is away from home. There's nothing defending that pawn. Okay, they take, again we take away from the center with the d pawn because we're going to get this bishop off the mark very quickly. We're going to castle along very quickly. Right, queen comes out here, most common move. We simply take the pawn. Knight comes out hitting our queen, just slide back. Right, they push d6, not a problem, we just castle. Okay, they castle, not perfect, right? And now, white has only played bishop e2 from this situation, it's only been seen in one game. But again, e5, right? We are really pressing this, right? We're looking at g7. This is not a clever knight. This queen can't go anywhere, like can't retreat because we can take the knight for free because it's only defender is pinned here, right? So they take, bishop takes, and now this is looking ugly, right? What are they going to do, right? So queen g6 apparently is the best move. Knight to f5 is also an idea, counter-attacking. But, pretty much from here, we're in a strong situation as well. So, that is just sharing an alternative way to approach this move, which is not uncommon. Let's just go back to opening tree, right? So from this position, I've seen knight to f6 36 times, I do well. Knight c6, again, I know what I'm doing there. Right, d6 is quiet and not very good. Bishop e4, I've seen 7 times. Yeah, 7 times out of less than 100. So, we're getting on for 10%. So it's worth just having something prepared. So there you go. So against this whatever it is move, I'm now thinking, let's not play d4. Let's try f4 for a bit more dynamism because, quite honestly, it wasn't working for me. So there you go. Just thought I'd share that. Thanks for watching. See you soon.